Hello. So
Hi.
I just pressed the go live button.
Okay.
So we're live. Sorry
I don't know
about
what
that.
happened.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a live stream scheduled for Sunday, so maybe I sent you the link to the one on Sunday accidentally.
Oh yeah, maybe. It just told me I was in the broadcast bay. I was like, this is weird, but who knows?
That
Maybe
is.
it just
Ooh. So how have you been? How's
good.
everyone's days going?
Good. I finally finished the novella last night at
Oh
3
yeah, I
a.m.
saw that.
Oh,
Woo.
yeah. It I like sent my best friend a Snapchat and I was like, when you finish the novella and you're upset about what you've done to your children, and she was like, what did you do? I was like, I'll send it to you. I was like, it's not good yet, but like I'll send it to you. And in my email to her, I was like, I apologize for my grammar and spelling / your feelings. Enjoy. Because they don't end well.
I've been trying to work on edits because I'm getting my novel out to like a final round of beta readers tomorrow.
Ooh, that's so much fun.
Yeah, so it's still gonna be a long process because traditional publishing's like forever.
Yeah, and to like query and stuff like that. Are you gonna query? Are you gonna do like a pitch wars or something like that? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm like horrible at Twitter. Twitter and TikTok are like the two social medias I don't understand. So I'm like really, I'm really like insecure about like pitch wars type stuff. I might try it out just to see like if I can get anything. But I'm definitely like I have a list made up of like agents.
Yeah, I don't know when or if they're doing it this year, but Alexa Dunn does the mentor match. I think during the summer. I
And
think it is
during February, because
February.
I put this work like into author mentor match and I wasn't chosen, but one of the mentors reached out to me
Uh-huh.
and said that she really liked my work and it was like one of her favorite ones, and like if I changed it she wouldn't mind like beta reading it. So
Oh,
she's
okay,
been doing my
that's
beta
cool. Yeah, I
readers.
thought she did it multiple times a year, but I don't know. I have never done any of the like pitch wars or anything like that just because I decided to self-publish these ones, but I want to I have another work that I'm going to actually like make a video about and like plot it out and see like that mess that's going to be writing that novel. And I want to pitch wars that because it's a contemporary and I want probably to traditionally publish that because
Yeah.
I don't know, contemporaries seem to be able to be traditionally published like a lot more, I feel like, or like you're
Yeah.
like I don't know how to describe it. Like I don't see them as much in self-published. Like
Yeah, I don't
a lot
either.
of fantasy is self-published.
A lot of romance though is self-published,
Yeah.
more like adult romance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Which I don't write adult romance. I barely write romance in my books, so my life is a hot mess.
Oh yeah, but I'm definitely gonna have to look into pitch wars.
Mm-hmm. Which it's actually I don't know if you follow her or watch her on YouTube. She has more of a booktube account, but she's done authortube stuff. It's book with a or blonde with a book. Her name's Rocky. She got her agent from Pitch Wars.
Oh, okay.
Or that's how her agent like got on her radar. I don't exactly know, but she's writing a contemporary. I think it's just straight contemporary, but I could be wrong. There hasn't been like a lot. But I know a lot of people have gotten their agents or stuff like that from Pitch Wars, so I think that's like more
Yeah.
a fun way to like query than like the formal query letters because those scare me.
Really? I'm really happy with my formal query letter.
I like when I did my formal query letters, I thought it was like a good query, and other people told me it was a good query letter, but they just scare me. I don't know. I feel like there's so much to put in it, but you only have like this much space to put in it, and I'm like, I'm a talker, so yeah.
So Sam, Jennifer, and Rebecca all said hi. So hi guys. And Jennifer said she self-published and loved the process.
Yeah, I really like self-publishing for right now. It's been well for me. I've done it, and it's fun, but I would like to see the other side, like traditionally publishing too, so like hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
But the process of getting to like choose everything yourself has been really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe down the line, but that scares me right now.
I'm a control freak, so yeah, but it's a lot of work.
Sam also said there's so many lives tonight.
There
It's
is.
the last day of Nano.
Yeah, I think so. I know. I think it's Mandy and Brooke are doing a lot, and Natalia. I don't know who was in the live stream, but I saw theirs up, and there was like a few more that were going up. But yeah, does anyone have any nano goals that they need to reach tonight?
Just editing. So right now what I'm trying to do, this is like such a boring round of edits, but I have like on here, it started with like an entire like whiteboard full of words I needed to like eliminate from my novel when possible. So now I'm down here and I want to finish that by Friday.
Ooh, fun.
Not like the end of the day Friday.
Do you like are you able to pull those words yourself, or do you get that from like your beta readers and like critique partners that you should remove them?
I just looked online for like filler words that make your
okay.
like work sound not as good. But like some of them are kind of obvious. Like I use a lot of times I'll be like, she thought this. And I'm like, you could just delete the she thought and the sentence like sounds stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not telling anymore. So it's like things like that. So I just like go through and look at each example and like delete the ones I don't need.
Yeah, my editor did a lot of that for me. She was like, I'm just gonna like mark what I think you should take out in like blue, and if you don't take them out, that's fine. But this is like filler words, and I was like, thank you so much. Like, you're great, because I can't catch that stuff in my own work. So Jennifer, I did not self-publish through. Well, technically, yeah, I did self-publish my ebook through KDP just because it was easier to format that way. I had a whole thing with my ebook trying to format it, and it was a mess. But my like physical copies are through Ingram, which I have been very pleased with Ingram, and their like customer service as of late, for at least for me.
And then Rebecca said she's not working on nano goals, but she's hoping to finish revising chapter 2. And I think if I'm correct, Rebecca, didn't you finish? Because I know she was working on a YA contemporary like first draft. I think she finished it in the month of April, like earlier in the month. But I could be wrong. Could have been in March.
Yeah, and then, I feel like I remember hearing that too, or reading that too. And then Sam finished camp a really long time ago. I finished this morning at 3 a.m. My like goal, even though I haven't been updating, my goal was to finish the novella that I've been writing since October.
Yeah.
And I finally did that. Yay!
I'm going to go find the timer, but while I'm doing that, what are you going to work on then, like, for today?
So I'm working on the second novella that goes in this. So it follows another character. The first one follows Aspen Faye, which is one of the twins in my novel, which is like a main character in Dark Radiance. And then this one follows Claire Holloway, which is the town's famed ghost. And like she has a lot to do with the crazy stuff that happens in Dark Radiance and with Lily. But this is like her story before she became like the famed ghost of Idlewood, which I love her a lot. And she's just fun to write. And I noticed that in Aspen's stories. But then now that I'm here, I'm like, wow, I actually really like this character a lot more because I get to see her personality more than just like floating around and being crazy in Dark Radiance. So, yeah.
I can't wait I still haven't read Dark Radiance, and I was going to order it, but my mom's really high risk, so we haven't been ordering anything to the house. But as soon as I'm like safe to order physical books, because I like physical books, I hate ebooks.
Yeah. So my brother's high risk too, and we've been ordering so much, it's ridiculous. And as long as you like kind of keep the packaging, we've just been keeping the packaging like not in the house. We'll like take it out. They've actually been really good at keeping everything really sanitary, and everything. Like our mail carriers and stuff have like gloves and everything like that. So you can even like wipe down the books because I've ordered books and I was nervous about ordering stuff too, but like we're getting packages every single day. I just got my bookshelves today and my mom's like,
Ooh.
but yeah, my brother's high risk, but the companies have been really good
Okay.
as of late. So like in their warehouses, like wearing gloves and masks and making
Yeah.
sure everyone's safe. So if you do order books or stuff online, it's better. But yeah, my brother's high risk too, so I understand. I was like, I can't order anything, Mom, and she's like, fine, we like wipe down all our groceries when we get home. It's just
We do that
we
too.
take like that extra step, and like now I'm like, why didn't I do this before? Because like you think so many people touch things. I'm like, that's gross. Anyways, like not even because of COVID. I'm like, I'm kind of a germaphobe. That's kind of gross that somebody have touched this like granola bar.
Sam said they don't touch their packages for 48 hours.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. Yeah, we just tried to like keep them separate from. But my mom's like, we need to stop ordering stuff because we don't have bulk trash at the side of our house. It's just like packages because we continue to order things and yeah, in a moment.
So how long do we want to sprint for?
That's a good question. I would be down for like a 10 to 15 minute.
Yeah.
Just to like start off.
I think. Do we want to do 15 unless someone says differently? Sam says 10.
Okay, yeah, whatever works.
Let's
Because
do
I'm gonna like kind of be plotting, but kind of be not plotting, just like sketching like anything that comes to mind. So today isn't gonna be like a word filled, but
Yeah, no, I'm literally just deleting bad phrases from my novel.
I feel that.
Okay, I'm gonna set the timer.
Okay.
So it's clapping. I don't know if you guys can hear the clapping. It does that at the end. But the sad eye emoji won. So Sam and I were betting in the comments, and neither of us were right.
I feel like it knows. It just like knows what anyone says, and they're like, we're not going to do that.
Not that one. What did everyone do? Oh, can you say that at the same time?
I wrote 181 words.
Were you drafting or outlining?
No, I was writing. So I know like the first chapter is just like the like leading up to what happens. So I know what happens. She's like at a bake sale. So I was like, I can write this about like that, but I'm ready to like get this scene over with so I can be like, okay, get into like what I actually want to write about. But I have to lead into it. I can't just be like, here's the story.
Yeah. So I'm on the word down on my list, and I found that there was 250 times in my novel that I used the word down.
Down.
Because if you think about it, like anytime you say like he sat down, she sat down, she glanced down, I have a lot of things like that. And then I'm like, you can literally just take out the word down and it doesn't change. Like she sat or she sat down.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like the same thing. Or like sometimes of set, sometimes you need down after, but sometimes it was like she set it down on the table. So like you can just take it and say she set it on the table and it sounds perfect.
Yeah.
So that's the issue of down is I have to go through and like look at each example to see like if in that example it makes sense or not. But I was surprised I used it that many times.
I know. I think it's just like something we say all the time. So then when you write it, you're like,
yeah, because some of these words on this list I didn't use at all. Like absolutely was on it, and I didn't use it once in my novel. So I was just like, oh, erase. In other words, I use way too much.
Yeah, I notice when I'm writing, sometimes I'll use the same word. Like last night, I think it was like burst, or like floated, because I like to be like, it floated through the wind, and I'm like, you can't use that. You used it up there 14 times.
Yeah.
And you're going to be mad at yourself when you edit and you figure that out. So, like, I will catch myself when I'm writing. I'm like, you can't use that like 85 times. But I get like stuck on like 2 words when I'm writing sometimes. And then I notice it. I'm like, wow, we were really in that mood to just use floated every single day.
I'm like that too. I'll have like chapters where like everyone's either crying or everyone's hearts are racing. And I'm like,
you're like, okay, who's having a heart attack? And why are you crying so much?
And then Rebecca said she got 145 words on her chapter 2 revision. So yay. And then Sam read over a really old first chapter for a book she started years ago, and she thinks she wants to restart it. So that's awesome.
I love that. Like when you set something down and then come back to it.
Yeah.
With the first novella, like I don't want to like go straight into editing it because I won't catch anything.
Yeah.
So I'm like setting it down while I write this one, and I'll come back later.
I think sometimes too, like your ideas are good, but you're not a good enough writer yet to write it.
Mm-hmm.
So like
or you just need to like step out of that story for a while and like come back to it later. I find that really helps. Even if I just set it down for like 2 or 3 days, I come back with like a fresh lens on like exactly what I want, especially the first draft, because I'm a pantser. So I just like write and then I come back and I see like the skeleton that I need to like mold into a human being.
And then Rebecca asked, can you do a word search on Google Docs? And yes, you can. And you can also do like the thing, like I've seen some people, I was watching a video on like filler words the other day, and they were talking about how they like replace all their filler words. But then like, I don't want to do that because in some instances the word actually makes sense. Like just because it's like a bad word doesn't mean like you need to delete it all the time.
Yeah, because sometimes it's needed.
Or it's in like dialogue and it like helps you understand the character.
Were they doing like it on Word? Because I know when you search something on Word, it's called search and replace, but you don't have to replace it. It just highlights everything in the words.
Maybe, yeah.
Were they like replacing everything? Because like you can't replace everything with like a certain word.
Or yeah.
You're just replacing it.
Or maybe they were like deleting it. They were going and deleting all the instances.
Yeah. I feel like that would just make a mess for myself. And I'd be like, what was I saying here?
Yeah. So I go through every single instance, and it's like Google Docs. You can like it's just Control F, and then you search it, and then it highlights them. Fun.
Yeah, I should do that. I'm like interested now, like what I kept in Dark Radiance, and like what is considered like filler, because I haven't heard anybody complain like of filler words, like too many filler words in my novel. So I'm just like interested now, like what like I did.
You might have some of them because some of them are really bad. Like she thought, she saw, she felt.
That's true. That's probably me, because I that's just like, I don't know. It felt or like it felt right at the time. But
That's me like every other sentence in first drafts. I'm like,
I know
she thought.
I get mad because I'm like, well, he just thought up there, so like, what is this one doing? Like, he can't think too. I like get mad at myself. I'm like, choose a different word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, it drives me insane. When I'm writing, I'm like, doesn't work.
Sam said she watched Natalia Lee's video on 40 words to cut from your novel, and it was really helpful. So
I watched that video too,
yeah.
which I liked a lot. I don't know. So I ask when I have editors, like when I have a new editor, or I have like my friends or beta readers, I'll ask them, be like, is there any words that like you see me using a ton and like you can highlight them? Because yeah.
And then hello Lolly, said, how's everyone doing? And so I think we're about ready to start our second sprint.
Yeah, how long do we want to go for?
Does anyone in the comments have suggestions? I'll pull up our little guy again.
I like how they change emojis every time.
Yeah, I like it too. It really mixes it up, keeps you on your toes. We could do 20 maybe?
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Rebecca just said 15, and then Sam says 1864 because Vampire Diaries.
I had to think about that for a second, and I feel so ashamed because I'm such a hardcore Vampire Diaries fan. I was like, what's 1864? I was like, what happens at 1864? What episode? I get it now.
I think I'm going to do 1864 because I think that's funny.
I love the Vampire Diaries. I want to rewatch it for the 18th time.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, there's a Parks and Rec special on tonight.
Oh, really? I don't watch like Parks and Recs or The Office, but I've seen like episodes throughout the thing. It's just not my type of like.
Yeah,
sure. I'd rather sit down and watch like my type of humor. My parents and I were talking about this. It's like Friends, like Seinfeld, and like that kind of stuff because that's what I grew up on. So, yeah, I've never gotten into like The Office or anything like that.
My favorites are probably Parks and Rec and How I Met Your Mother and Schitt's Creek.
I do like How I Met Your Mother, because my dad used to watch that and he'll turn it on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that one, but I haven't watched Schitt's Creek. My mom has though, and she said she really liked it.
It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
I'm watching Shameless right now. That's like what I'm trying to get through.
Sam said yes, and Rebecca said she can't wait for the special. So I have it recorded, so I'm gonna watch it after the live sprint, so I can like fast forward the commercials.
Oh, that's the best. That's what I do with Grey's Anatomy. That's the only show I watch live. I only watch Grey's Anatomy because I've been watching it since I was younger, since like season 3, and I have to be on top of it. Mm-hmm. Sam is currently watching all the Vampire Diaries shows over again in order. See, I love that she's watching them in order. I haven't watched the Legacies yet because I'm still not over the Vampire Diaries and the originals ending. So still makes like my heart break. I'm like, but they are good. But I've heard the Legacies is good.
Yeah, I've only seen the Vampire Diaries, but I liked it.
I loved it. My favorite is probably the originals, just because I really like the Michelsons, because they get better as like after they're not on the Vampire Diaries. I feel like you like get to know them better, and you're like, oh, I see why you are the way you are. But you don't get to see like a ton in
Yeah.
the Vampire Diaries because it's not their story. So, but I do love the Vampire Diaries. I just got kind of annoyed by the end of like the last couple seasons with some of the stuff that was happening. I was like, okay, we're doing this now.
I don't think I ever actually finished it because I was just annoyed.
Yeah, I just was annoyed by the way that both of the shows wrapped up, and they were pretty much the same thing. I was like, you just want to kill me right now, like just like rip my heart out. It's fine, but yeah, I got kind of off the train when Elena left.
Yeah, same.
So I was like, wow, she did actually matter to the show.
Okay, I'm gonna start the timer for 1864.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if anyone saw, but at the end of that, like when the sound went off, I jumped because I was like so into my story. I was like, oh. But you're still muted, I think.
It's okay. I just jumped because the puppy slammed into slam into my door and dig at the bottom of my door to get in, and he like did that while I was doing something. I was like doing it.
Sam, Rebecca, and I all actually won that time. We guessed the zipper face emoji.
He was behind for a while, so I wasn't sure. I was like, I don't know yet.
It's always the one behind that pulls through at the end.
We love that for them.
Love the underdog.
Yes.
Story arc.
So how did everyone do?
I just looked through. I looked for the word wonder, and I deleted some instances of wonder. And then I looked at the word up and saw there were 600 instances where I used the word up, but some of it might be like upbeat or like in a word, if that makes sense, is what I'm thinking. I don't know how many words actually use up other than upbeat, but so I need to go through and like look at that because that's a little bit of a disaster. And now I'm on thought. There's only 80 instances of thought in the book, though, which is a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, which some of those might actually be needed in them.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get all these words, especially words like thought, if I can get it down to like 35, because there's 35 chapters. And I'm like, it's not as bad if it's like once or twice per chapter.
Yeah, I got that. I mean, I guess I got 400 words done in that one.
Woo.
So I'm almost done with this first chapter, which is good because I'm like over this first chapter already. I'm like, I just want to get into the good part.
Rebecca said she got 245.
Wow. And you're editing, right? She's editing.
I think, yeah, she's revising. So I think rewriting. And Sam started working on the beat sheet for the story she found.
Do you make your own beat sheet, or do you use like Save the Cat or other people's like beat sheets, Sam? Because I have never tried Save the Cat, but I have the book. And I just like make sure there's like a point in each chapter that has like an impact on the story as it goes through. So those are like my beats, but I didn't know about like the beat sheets or like Save the Cat until I was done with Dark Radiance. I was like, well, I guess it kind of goes with it, but I had never heard of that because it got like really big when I was revising Dark Radiance.
Yeah, I didn't use any beat sheet on my first draft, but then when I went through and did my second draft and like rewrote basically the entire thing, I used the Save the Cat beat sheet, and like it just like it really changed not so much like the plot, but more so the pacing. So it just like paced better, which is what I liked about Save the Cat beat sheet.
Yeah. I need to like read that and like look at it because I bought it because everyone was talking about it and it was at my Barnes and Noble one day, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's a pretty quick read, so like it's not a long read. And Rebecca said she's rewriting scenes.
That's always fun. I like to rewrite. That's like my favorite part. My favorite part is editing. Definitely like rewriting and revising because I don't know, I just find it easier and I'm able to like dive in further. So
yeah. She said it's a mix between the beat sheet and the 3-act, 9-block, 27-chapter structure from Katie Tastic.
Oh, okay. See, I don't watch Katie Tastic anymore from like, and I never watched her writing videos, but I do know she has really good advice from what I have. I'm waiting for her to come out with something. Because since like the dawn of time, she's like, I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book. And I'm like, I'm waiting. Because every time she would like describe her stuff, it sounded good. And just by the way she talks, I feel like she'd be a good writer or like know what she was doing. So I'm always interested in to see like what she's gonna come out with. And I was surprised Christine came out with something before she did.
Yeah, I never actually really followed either of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they were like the first two booktubers I like really followed. I followed Christine. I still watch Christine's stuff, but I followed Christine like at the beginning. She was like one of the first booktubers I ever watched
Mhm.
because I think she posted something on like Clockwork Angel or something, and I was like, oh, I'll watch that.
I think one of my first booktube videos was on Cassandra Clare too, but it was from Sasha. But
Oh yeah, I like Sasha too. Those were like the like core ones I watched. Which, by the way, speaking of like Sasha and Natasha and BookTube, have you seen the Stephanie Meyer countdown?
oh,
And
I
what
heard
do you think
about
it is?
that. Yeah, I heard about that, but I've never read Twilight, so I'm not really a Stephanie Meyer.
You haven't read Twilight? Oh, it's not like the best thing in the world, but like I love Twilight still to this day.
I feel like I
But
missed the train. That and Percy Jackson, I'm just like, I missed the train on it. So
it'd be fun to like read them now and see what you think. Like, just have you seen the movies?
I saw one time at my friend's house. I was like forbidden from watching them when I was a kid because my mom thought they were like bad. So
My favorite is my favorite book of hers is actually The Host, which a lot of people have a theory that it's going to be a Host sequel, which I'd be excited about, but I'm not like, yeah, a Host sequel, because I kind of like how the Host book left off. Like,
yeah.
the movie left off in like an open ending. They can make a second book, but I'm not like dying for it. But the other people are like Midnight Sun, and I just like don't want Midnight Sun. Like the train has passed where I don't care about Edward's point of view. I don't care. I want a sequel where it's all about Renesmee, and like there's like a love triangle between her, Jacob, and Alec. Like all the fan fiction I read when I was younger. So I was like screaming about it to my mom last night. But yeah, everyone's been talking about it. I still can't believe you haven't read Twilight.
Yeah.
It would like sit in the mail to me and my mom by my mom's best friend when it was first happening. But yeah.
I don't read a lot of paranormal though. Like I read a lot of Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really love her work. But other than her, I don't read a lot beyond that. Oh, I really like Jessie Elliott too.
Jessie, yeah.
There's like
Have you read Twisted Devotion yet?
No. I'm still behind on new releases.
I'm like finishing it right now so I can get my review up because I'm on her like release splits team right now for that one, and I am finishing my review. See, you're not alone. Sam has never read Twilight either. I don't think you're alone with a lot of things. I always think everyone's read like everything I've read. Like when people were like, "I've never read The Selection," I was like, "You've never read The Selection?"
I'm the same way too. So like when people tell me I haven't read Sarah J. Maas, I'm like, what?
I've never read Sarah J. Maas. So, but I have her books on my shelf. I just haven't gotten to them because I'm kind of intimidated because there's such a big fan base now, and like you're either like a huge Throne of Glass fan or you're a huge A Court of Thorns and Roses fan, that series, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to like dive into this, to the drama that is all of this.
I actually got into her right when she first came out because I used to be like a booktuber a little bit. I think I had more subscribers when I was a booktuber than I do now. But then I like quit it. But she like friended me on Goodreads back in like the day. Like it was like really early. And she was like, hey, like I'm an author and I have this new book coming out. Would love to see like a video on your channel. And it was like
That's cool.
class. So like I like literally just like, I don't know, I must have been on like, I was just lucky. Like I didn't get a free copy or anything. I bought it myself, but it was really early.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm like steering clear of her new book because that terrifies me. 900 pages. I like can't right now, but it looks really good. It sounds really good. But yeah, I haven't been reading like I don't keep up on like the top trends right now.
Same.
I just don't. But Rebecca said she wants a brand new story from Stephanie Meyers. I feel like, yeah, but I feel like why would she put a countdown for a brand new story? Because she already came out with The Chemist and it, like, she, or something like that. So I'm like, what is she brewing over there?
It's a good marketing scheme, though.
Yeah, it's Stephanie Meyer. Just hanging out in Sedona right now or wherever she lives in Arizona, like, chilling. Rebecca said that the new
sprint?
What? Sorry.
Do you want to do another sprint?
Yeah. Rebecca said that the new Sarah J. Maas book is good, long, but it's good. So now that makes me want to read it.
I feel like that's how most of her books are. Like I read them faster than I think I'm going to read them.
Yeah. I don't have the attention span I feel like I had when I was younger.
I don't know. I've been reading a lot of just contemporaries lately, especially as I've been trying to look for comp titles. So that's like mostly what I'm reading right now. But that's what I read a lot of in general. So
Sam says, I also have only read City of Bones from Cassandra Clare. Oh, I could go on and on about Cassandra Clare. My favorite is the Dark Artifice series, but you have to read every single book to get to those. So I'm always like, listen, they're so good.
did it just randomly change the timer to 1904 without me doing anything?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought you did that, but I was like, I don't know. Okay.
I
We
guess
love that.
1904.
You're like, okay.
You're an
Who was born
expert.
in 1904? Is that when they became vampires? Like, no, I thought that was.
No, there's nothing of 1904. Like it literally just popped up.
That's so weird. The Salvatore brothers are here. Like, hello.
A vampire pops out from behind me.
So I'd be like, I gotta go, but like, good luck. Maybe message Jessie because she's writing vampire books. She might have some advice for you. I'm like, I only deal with ones that sparkle and are vegetarian, so sorry. Actually, I'm more of the Volturi, like the evil vampires. I've always been like the evil person, so. It was at 1864 when they became
Vampires, yeah.
So what's with this 1904? I'm so confused.
I'm so confused. I guess we're doing 1904 for our sprint.
That's so weird, but I love that. It just chose it for us. It was like, you know what? We're doing this.
Let's do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that the star-eyed emoji is gonna win. I like him.
I want to go with the tongue one because he's cute. I wonder what everyone else. I feel like I'm gonna lose just because every time I choose the one that like I just think is cute, they always lose. So not placing too much confidence in him.
Okay, that's time. Smirky smiley face 1.
Who said? Rebecca
Oh,
said that.
Rebecca said it. We did have a winner. How did everyone do?
Oh, every time.
Every time. I edited for the word thought. Oh, I just edited for realized. I only had realized in twice in my entire book, and one of them
Really?
pulled out. I was like, whoa. And then something else I edited for, but I forget. There wasn't very many of them, so it was good.
Yeah, I like planned out what I knew, like the first 3 chapters that I like know exactly the beats and everything that need to happen. But then I wrote 172 words after I did that because
Yeah.
I needed to like see the beats because even just now I was like, oh, let me make sure that I got everything. And I was like, I forgot something in the first chapter that I need to write that in because then nothing else makes sense in the next chapters. But yeah, I feel like this one is a lot easier to write. I don't know why I didn't start with this one.
Well, that's
I
good.
like
You started with like the hard one, so now you can write the easy one.
That's true. I think that like I was like, well, this one comes first in the novel, so I have to write this one first when I first started it. I don't, but hopefully, I think this one's gonna be a shorter one too, so it'll be
Yeah.
easier to work.
Rebecca said 278. That's awesome. And Sam's having a hard time with one specific thing in the story. It plays a huge part in the plot because it affects the main characters, but I can't figure it out.
I was having that issue a couple weeks ago too.
I always think when I have that issue, like I just kind of like set it aside or like journal. Sometimes like like thoughts come to me in the shower when I'm running.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that. I go take a shower. I turn on my writing playlist and then I like stand there and I'm like, okay, ideas. I want to get like you can get like a notepad that you can like it's water resistant, so you can write on all your like ideas, your like shower thoughts, and I'm like, that's perfect for any writer because every time I like bust out of the shower and I'm like, I need a piece of paper.
I do those in the middle of the night. Like if I can't fall asleep and I'm just like thinking, I always have ideas.
Yeah, I always put them in my phone when I do that, or like if I like think of a first like paragraph or like something like this one I have the first I don't want to call it an epigraph because it's not an epigraph but it's also not a prologue, so it's just kind of a quote, and I put it in there and I was like that's like the beginning of like that sets the mood for the whole story, but I don't know what to call it, so I just put the characters names on that page and left it there. I was like I don't really know what an epigraph is because I thought that was relating back to someone else's work, like a quote. But then I read that it wasn't, so I was like,
I thought an epigraph was like something you put when someone died, like about.
no, that's a eulogy, isn't it?
I thought it was like kind of like a little thing on the graveyard, like you know, like when you like have something in the graveyard, like gone but never forgotten.
Oh, is that what that is?
I'm gonna Google
because
it.
I've seen it in books, like at the beginning of YA books, fantasy books. So that's why I was so confused. I was like, what? We never talk about epigraphs. What is this?
Oh, it's both. It can be an engraved inscription, or it can be a quotation set at the beginning of a literary work or one of its divisions to suggest its theme.
Okay, so that's what I did. I just like couldn't figure it out. I was like, I'm gonna YouTube it later, or like ask someone that might know more than me because we like in school I learned prologues, epilogues, normal like story arcs. No one ever talks about an epigraph.
Well,
like,
apparently
okay.
I've heard it in the sense of graveyards before.
I never
too, but
I never heard it as like a idea for a graveyard or like something on a gravestone.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that they like combine them and like, you know what, they could just be the same thing. It's fine.
Maybe like two societies like found the word at the same time and they had different meanings. And they're like, wait, no, it means this.
I feel like our founding fathers, whoever was making up like the American English like dictionary, they were just like, you know what, just throw that in there. It's fine. Like We're good. Because some things we say, I'm just like, what? Who said that was okay when we were creating our English language?
It was even crazier in New Zealand because they have all these weird farming phrases. Like when they like go to eat, they'll be like, "We're gonna go get some feed," and I'm like, "Are you cows?" Like
when they go where?
When they go to eat, like if you're like gonna like go to eat, I'd be like, "Oh, Allison, want to come get some feed with me?" Or "Oh, let's go get some feed." Like, "Oh, I'm gonna get myself some feed."
You're like, you mean dinner? Supper?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Like, yeah, because if I were, you would like say like the cows have their feed. Like, that's like farming terms here.
Yeah, I think
it's like their food
there. So like they just use farming terms all the time. I don't know. There's a lot of instances like that. Sam said she rewrote the first couple chapters 4 different times in the past few years, all with different versions of the issue, and I can't decide which one works best. I rewrite my first chapter all the time.
I'm like trying to think how I would get. So it happens in the first chapter. It's like the inciting incident that happens. Is that like kind of how it is, Sam? Because yeah, you have to. I see. I don't know what happens later on in the book to like feed into it, but like say with Dark Radiance, everything is like fed to Liliana through bedtime stories. So that was like the main issue when I was writing Dark Radiance. So I was like, how do I like combine bedtime stories with like the reveal of the fallen angels and the angels? And when I wrote like the reveal scene for Dark Radiance like 8 different times because like that was the main plot point of like one of them was like the reveal, and
yeah,
I had to like feed. But first chapters do suck.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Rebecca.
Yeah. Rebecca knows all too well. I think she's read the first chapter of my book like 10 times. And
see, this is why prologue and everything. Some people hate prologues, but I'm like, you know what will fix this? A prologue to explain everything I'm trying to say.
Sam says the main character has depression due to her family could die. She could have a terminal illness or a chronic disease.
Okay. So it's like revealed in the first chapter.
I feel like that's also, yeah.
Have you beta read any of the book to anybody? Because maybe you could like give them 2 options, like your 2 favorite options of like how you could feed it into the story and see what they say, which one works better with the story. That's helpful. Or like get like a critique like partner or someone to read it. Because then they'll be able, like an outside source might be able to tell you which is like a more plausible idea. I did that too when I like was a maniac one time, and I was like to my best friend, I was like, just sit down and listen to me ramble, and she was like, this one works better. Thank you.
I also think you could probably just, I don't know, like not like ramble out loud to yourself, but like just think of like which one would work best with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there one that like fits better with the plot or like with the character's personality or something? Like, I don't know how that could, like maybe she has like trust issues and she's like getting close to anyone, and then like her family died. That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like that, you know?
Rebecca says, I hate reading prologues, but I love writing them. I hate reading prologues if they have nothing to do with the story. Like if it's just pointless. If it's a pointless prologue that I'm never going to use this information ever again. But if it has to do with the story, then I will definitely use it, because a lot of time prologues is something that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, now I understand what is going on. But sometimes they're just pointless. I'm like, why did I need to know this information?
Controversial, but I never read the prologues. I literally always skip past them.
You'd be so confused. That's why I always tell everyone, you have to read the prologue of Dark Radiance. It's like 3 or 4 pages. It's fine. It's not like in one book I read a prologue that was like 14 pages. I was like, oh. This one it's essential to understand what else goes on. Because someone told me, they're like, I didn't read the prologue, and I was like, okay, do you like understand anything? And they're like, no, and I was like, go back and read the prologue, and it'll understand. I debated on just title or taking the prologue and titling it Chapter 1, just because people don't read prologues. But yeah, I decided to just keep it prologue.
Yeah. Do you want to do another sprint?
Yeah. How long do we want to do it for?
It didn't give us a time this time.
Well, I haven't written past the 3rd chapter, so for any of these options, because I never figured out which one I want. Also, I don't have writer friends in real life. So for that, join writer communities. There's tons.
Yeah.
Like Twitter, Instagram has a bunch. Even like if you have Facebook, there's a lot of writer groups on Facebook that I've met people through. And there's tons of people willing to beta read for you. Also, I would just move past the 1st chapter and just continue writing the story, because sometimes if you just continue writing, you'll come back and be like, oh, this is how I actually want to funnel this information down into the story, and that makes it easier to give out the information.
Also, I don't have any writing friends in real life either, so I totally understand. But like, it's so, I think sometimes, like, especially when I first started especially my writing Instagram, I would just like slide into people's DMs and just be like, hey, like, I'm like new here. I think I've honestly probably slid into your DMs, Allison. So I'm sliding to a bunch of author tubers DMs and would just be like, hey, I'm a new author tuber. Like, any advice?
I am so like, I am such a silent person online. I've gotten a lot better, but I definitely didn't. Like, I didn't have any, I don't want to say confidence, but because that's not it. I just was like nervous to slide. Like, I didn't want to bother anybody.
Yeah.
And slide into their DMs because I was scared. But yeah, I don't really have writer friends in real life. I have one, but she's reading my book right now. But other than that, I just have friends who like stories.
Yeah, I have a lot of like reader friends. But
yeah, I have some reader friends, or just people who are willing to read it and tell me, like, be honest with me and be like, this is absolute trash.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Because when I wrote Dark Radiance, I didn't have any writer or reader friends. I just had my coworkers read it, and they all were like, this is so good. Now I look back, I'm like, you were lying. It's trash.
Rebecca said 25. That's ambitious, but I kind of like it. Finish off with an ambitious sprint.
Yeah, we could do 25. That way we could like finish up, wrap up everything. See, it keeps going back to 1904. I wonder why it does that. When you just clicked clear,
it went to 1904. So odd.
That's okay. Love that for us.
Sam also said 25, and then Lolly said she's never written a prologue, but she's interested in writing one.
They're fun. If they go with the story, they're fun to write, I find.
I think it depends on your genre, too. Like, I think if you wrote a prologue in, like, a contemporary, I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't really see, unless it's, like, a sad contemporary, I don't really see prologues in that, but, like, a lot of fantasy and, like, sci-fi have prologues that happen either before the story or someone's telling you stuff after the story, but in the beginning.
But also, if you're looking at being traditionally published, most agents hate prologues.
Yeah. I was told so many times, just change it to chapter 1. That's why I did that a couple times, and that's how I got full read-throughs. I was like, y'all, it reads like a prologue. Why are you... I don't understand that. The prejudice against prologues so much.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're needed.
Okay, should we start the timer?
Yeah.
I think this is our second time debating or ranting about prologues.
I have strong feelings about that.
Okay, Sam said really quick that she had to go, so if you're still here, bye. Thanks for joining us. And the straight face line one. I think Rebecca guessed it again.
Rebecca, are you rigging this?
Maybe the 1904 was from her.
She was like, I've hacked the system.
She finished rewriting chapter 2 and she's now on to editing chapter 3.
Ooh. I got 611 words done in that round.
Wow, that's so good.
Yeah, it was just at the part where like the two main, like the love interests of this meet for the first time, and it's a totally enemies to lovers moment. My dog is at Dexter, stop. And I've been like really into enemies to lovers. It's all because of Jessie Elliott. Anything I read from her, it's like an enemies to lovers thing, and I'm like, give it to me.
I love enemies to lovers too. I don't know if I'd call I guess my contemporary kind of has that trope, but they're not like enemies trying to kill each other, but they're both really annoyed with each other's personalities at first and very opposites, and then they come together, which I love. So
yeah, that's how I feel like this couple is. I feel like each of my couples is a different way. Like the Dark Radiance couple is very much like the star-crossed, meant to be lovers kind of thing, and then you have the forbidden romance in or the forbidden kind of lovers in this one, which is kind of enemies to lovers, and then the other one's just a plain normal lovers trope, a meant to be lovers, because they do this thing called the soul ceremony where your soul has another match. So I feel like each one of them is very different, which I like because I get to experiment with each trope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so far, enemies to lovers is kind of my favorite.
I love forbidden love too. Yeah. Rebecca said she should take this luck to Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas, actually.
I haven't either.
It's
on top of my list.
Well, I mean, I want to go once in my lifetime, just to go, and my friends want to go. But yeah, the only reason I want to go is to go see the giant Taco Bell that you can get freezes, I guess, with alcohol in them. I don't know. They come in these big things, and I'm like, I like Taco Bell, but other than that, I don't gamble. I would go see shows. There's a lot more shows now in Vegas than there were when I was younger. It's evolved into something else than what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I would go see
picky about
if she ever came back and did shows.
Oh yeah.
I'll go see Celine Dion. She's coming to, well, actually, I don't know if she's coming anymore, but she was coming to the Valley, and my mom won't go see Celine Dion with me. The only reason you want to go is to see My Heart Will Go On or live, and I was like, of course, that's the only song I care about, and then we can leave.
I would only go, I think I would go to Vegas back when Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were there.
Yeah.
That would be really cool, but I don't know if I would go now.
Yeah. I don't know. I also want to go to, it's just outside of Vegas. The guy who is with the dark hair on, if you've seen Ghost Adventures, he's the main guy. He has a museum there that has a bunch of different supposedly haunted stuff, or stuff that's been in murder trials. There was a rocking chair that was in the Devil Made Me Do It murder trial from back in the day. So I'd go and see that stuff, but I have no interest in the party scene of Vegas. It's just and I don't gamble because I'm bad at it. I don't even know how to play poker, so yeah, no, it's not my thing.
I feel like I might have to head out. Watch Parks and Rec.
Yeah, go watch Parks and Rec. I have to go and see what this dog wants from me. He's begging me to come out. I think he wants me to go play with him, but I'm working here.
Yeah, it's a lot earlier in the night for you than here.
Yeah, it's 6:12 here. And
Wow.
it's still light outside, so. Yeah.
But thank you so much for co-hosting, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. It was super fun. We'll have to continue to do writing sprints sporadically throughout months. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I'm going to start doing writing sprints Sundays at 2 p.m. on my channel.
Ooh,
And I'm having like different guest hosts every time. So.
Like noon my time.
Yeah, I think so.
I like had to do the math. I was like, what time is it?
I mean, it's a way to start off the week, you know?
Yeah. Fine. But yeah, I'm going to come and join in on your writing sprint. So you'll see me in the comments, y'all.
And maybe as a guest host sometime.
But yeah.
Okay, I'm going to end the broadcast, but thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.